Morning, just driving to work, and I figured I'd just chat about a few things on my mind. And I've been meaning to make a list of my favorite 90's cartoons growing up. I think personally nowadays cartoons are actually pretty decent, but something about them just doesn't click the same way as when I was a kid in the 90's, and really just something better at that time. I don't know what it was. Maybe people just cared more. But I don't know. There's just so many nowadays. There's a new cartoon coming out every week on a streaming platform, and it was something special about waking up on a Saturday, watching a bunch of cartoons, eating cereal in your PJs before you start your day, running around outside, playing with friends, It's just different now. I can't think of any way that there's still a Saturday morning cartoon lineup. I mean, there probably is somewhere that I'm not aware of, but, every kid just throws on Netflix and watches a bunch of random stuff. They don't even half the time watch a whole episode. They'll just jump around so much. But back in my day, it was something special. You watched all the shows, even the ones you didn't like that much, just because that's what was on and that's all you could watch. You'd maybe get up and grab some more food during a commercial, and otherwise, that was it. And then you had to wait a whole nother week for those to see the next episode. And weirdly, I missed that. Made it special. And because of that, I still have a ton of shows. I tried to get it down to 10, but I had to make a list of 20 because there's just so many that I really found were the ones I still think about and sometimes watch or try to find to watch, or at least think about, maybe quote daily, So at this point, I'll read you my list that I threw together. So let's see. First off, I have Ren and Stimpy, because, of course, if you didn't watch Ren and Stimpy at some point, even recently, but otherwise growing up, you are missing out. That show was too good, even for its time. Just, so unique. And it's funny because you'll see a lot of these shows have had reboots or remakes more recently, or a movie made, because they were great, but it's so hard or impossible, even in most cases, to capture that just amazingness again, unfortunately. But I appreciate them trying. I've watched some of these newer versions and they've been okay. But next one, number 2, I have Real Monsters. I don't know, I just always really liked that one as a kid. Something unique and fun. I think all the different designs for the monsters and just the uniqueness of what that show was about just clicked with me. Thought it was fun. Really enjoyed it. And made the list. Number 3, I have Beavis and Butthead. Maybe not the best thing for a younger kid, but it was what was on, and I had older brothers, so it's something I watched. And man, that show was great. Just such goofy humor, and I still remember going with my brother to see Beavis and Butthead Do America, and we were literally falling out of our chair in the theater, laughing so hard. Just so good. Number 4, I have The Tick. I think just so underrated. I rarely see it on a list, rarely see it noted as just a fantastic, unique 90s cartoon. And it's funny, I remember after it was out for a while, they tried making a real-life version, and I did watch that and I enjoyed it. It was unique in its own right, but it just didn't last, unfortunately. But the cartoon, for its time, God, it's just so good, and I wish they would be able to bring that back, and I just wish people watched it more. It's just so good and underrated. Number 5, similar, unique one, but I think more people know about, is Freakazoid. Just too good for its time. I don't know if anyone could make that again. It's just, when you have these heroes that are not good at being heroes, but still try to be, it's too good. That show is so funny. Amazing parodies of known other heroes and other things at the time. Just amazing. And yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone try to remake that or come back, and it's too bad. That show's too good. But sometimes you just got to keep it as it is and just enjoy it for what it was. Number 6, Bobby's World, of course. Gotta go with Bobby's World. If you were a kid in the 90s and you didn't watch Bobby's World, you were missing out. I mean, just amazing, fun, simple, little kid with an older brother, imagination. I mean, loved it. How could, yeah, that one's got some just amazing moments. It's just hard to beat. Love Bobby's World. Always think about that. Yeah, and I can't think of that one coming back anytime recently or anything at all. So, unfortunately, but definitely check it out. Number 7. Wait, that was 7. Wait, 6. Yeah, 7. Animaniacs. Again, this is one that I'm fairly certain they recently tried to bring back in a similar format, but I haven't checked it out. I don't know if it's good or not. Probably decent, but the original, just amazing. You got the main Animaniacs that are just funny on their own right, but you got all those other segments and different cartoons that stem from that. Like, you can't go wrong with Pinky and the Brain, of course, or Slappy Squirrel, I want to say, and just all those other additional cartoons that came from that. Too good. Just, I mean, yeah, can't be beat. Just for a variety type show, yeah, that worked so well. And I know they did some movies from that, which were fantastic, and just, yeah, worth checking out all that. So number 8, I have, in the Beavis and Butthead world, Daria. I don't know why, but just something about the style and the way Daria acts, and just, yeah, I don't know, something clicks there. It's not for everyone, but I think for its time, it worked really well. Some of the interesting situations she would be in and everything, and just how little she cared. It's just something about that worked for me. Really funny. And I mean, I wonder if there's been something similar nowadays that I'm not aware of, but you would think, but I'm not aware of it coming back in any way. the time. I really enjoyed it. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9. We have number 9, Ed, and Eddie. Oh my God. Absolutely, without a doubt, Ed, and Eddie. I love that show so much. I mean, especially when you're a kid watching it over the summer and they're out in a cul-de-sac with their friends, you know, trying to sell them stuff or, you know, do another crazy idea. And just some of the cool things in that show, I don't know, it's just, I always wanted to try and do stuff that they did. I always wanted to, you know, make a cool contraption and just try something crazy. And yeah, just that fun over the summer, it's just too good. I don't know. It was so similar to what I wanted to do, you know, over a summer and stuff with my friends, that it just worked well. And that one has a little movie that came out after the end, and it was fun because in the later seasons they did like go to school and stuff, and you know, got a little different take, and you know, just fun there. But I think the movie's just really good, comes full circle with the whole show, totally worth watching. Yeah, that one's a great one. And so that brings us to number 10, and that's going to be Rocko's Modern Life. Just another really unique one, interesting for its time, just crazy, kooky, weird stuff, but interesting, fun. I mean, can't go wrong. Love Rocko's Modern Life. Again, that's one that I don't think they've ever tried to redo. Maybe I'm crazy, but yeah, I think that's just a one that's perfect the way it is, but definitely gotta check out. Number 11, and this one I think is kind of a broader thing, and actually I'm gonna combine two, but I'm gonna say Transformers and G.I. Joe, all in the same thing, because growing up I went with Transformers more. My brother went with G.I. Joes. We'd have all the action figures. We'd fight with them, and he was my older brother, so he'd win, but I think Transformers would win for real, you know. And more specifically, growing up, I really enjoyed Beast Wars, and I think that version of Transformers is amazing. People still love that. That's why the most recent Transformers movie was trying to do Beast Wars stuff. Movie nowhere near as good as that show back in the 90s, but you know, it tried to bring some of that, and it was cool to see some of the characters that were from the show and everything. What I was really hoping for, my favorite, and maybe not everyone's, but the one of the few they didn't have in there was Rat Trap. Freaking wise ass Rat Trap. For some reason they left him out, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, maybe they'll do better in another one. But that show so good, and I had all the toys. Love that stuff. That brings us to number 12. Similar style, and I know it's 3D stuff, but I think it still counts in this case because it was unique at the time. There's so few 3D animated stuff in the 90s. I always loved Reboot, and that's something they did reboot, but they did with like real life kids going in there, and just no way, that's just nowhere near as good. The original Reboot was way ahead of its time, really unique stories, really interesting stuff. I mean, as a kid, it was, inside a computer basically, and what's going on when you're playing a game, and just cool stuff, interesting villains, cool action, interesting story, awesome music and stuff. Just so ahead of its time. I mean, and just underrated. I don't think a lot of people watch it. It's just amazing. And they technically had a movie type thing at the end of the series, which got broken up into different episodes, I want to say. But yeah, just really cool, epic stuff in the end. Really well developed, continuous story that just cool. And I don't think they have ever done anything as good story-wise and whatnot more recently. Honestly, I wish they would do more, just better graphics with the same story and characters and stuff, just see how it would do. But I don't know, something about that style and everything. Maybe it wouldn't be better to look better. I think it's unique and works for the time. And that brings us to, I believe, 13. Yeah, 13. 13's gonna be Doug. And I should say these are mostly in no particular order. But Doug, yeah, you got Doug, Patty Mayonnaise, Skeeter, freaking Quail Man, his little dog. The one thing I regret, I never saw the Doug movie to this day. And I remember I was going to go and something fell through, so I just never saw it. That's something I gotta do for myself. I'm sure it's good, but yeah, I still I usually mess with my friends if I'm on a longer call with them or something, and I'll hum the Doug theme song just to mess with them and get it in their head because it's so catchy. And I still do that from time to time. Doug is great, iconic characters, and yeah, just fun stuff. Yeah. So then that brings us to number 14. And actually, I feel like I gotta sneak it in here because I totally forgot. God, there's so many that I probably forgot. I put Captain Planet because I don't know. I just really enjoyed Captain Planet growing up. Not for everyone, but at the same time, it should be. The original cartoon, just fun. Tons of parody out there that's happened from it, but I don't know. Surprisingly, for do the right thing, yay Earth, it had cool action and fun stories that, I don't know, clicked with me and I really enjoyed. But if I were to replace this in the list, I should have put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know why I didn't put it on the list. I think I thought about it, but I forgot. So, in that area, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, and everything from that. Obviously, the most recent movie just came out, and I still have to see it, but I know it's going to be good, and I'm going to love it, so no worries there. But, yeah, definitely. So then that would be number 15, which I'm going to say Recess. Again, with being a kid at that time, recess was your escape from school during the day. You had that break. You got to just hang out with your friends. You're on playground. You're doing fun stuff. I mean, everyone has their different way. Everyone's got a different recess style and stories growing up. But, we did fun stuff, playing tag, freeze tag, all the different tags, running around, floor is lava, climbing on the jungle gym, we do slide jams, and, someone go down, stop at the end, and pile up everyone, and then one of us would, try to crawl over everyone to get down. In the winter, growing up in Chicago, there'd be plenty of banks of snow. We'd dig holes and forts. But, you know, a lot of that stuff they did in the show, and cool things and fun stuff at Recess. And, of course, that one, I did see the movie, loved it. Can't recommend it enough. I mean, yeah. Even nowadays, all these things, you don't have to be a kid to watch. They're timeless. They're that good. And I think Recess is one of those. So then 16? Yep. 16. As a younger kid, formative years, Magic School Bus taught me so many of the things I know now, and I still quote as fact. I like to think they were pretty accurate. But one way or another, when you're watching that and you got kids going into space, going inside a person, going just all these cool places to learn about something and actually seeing it, I don't know, it clicks. It's just so good. And I know they remade a Magic School Bus show again. I watched a comparison, heard someone saying they felt the newer one was better. It's just never going to be the same, but personally, but I think the newer one is one of the few that's like actually worth watching and actually does some cool stuff, you know, in the same way that it used to. So I think it did stay pretty faithful, and learned some new things. But I even read the books, you know, because they were originally books by the creators, which I think are really good, and the show did a great job. That one I think everyone's kids should watch at some point, because you learn so much in a fun way. Can't go wrong. And even now, it's worth watching. Just why not? But that brings us to a more dark one. And that, I'm going to combine another one because I just thought of it again. This, I have Gargoyles, because just awesome show. And that I would combine with Darkwing Duck, because I totally forgot about Darkwing Duck, which totally deserves more. But Gargoyles, just awesome, gritty, cool show, interesting action, unique premise. And Darkwing Duck's just fun, awesome, cool stuff with that character that just deserves more anything. And it's funny, I was just watching the new Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers movie, which should have made the list now that I'm thinking about it. Chip 'n Dale's was great, but the new movie has a little clip at the end with Darkwing Duck, you know, saying should have been him, basically. And I totally agree. He should have gotten a remake, a reboot movie. But maybe another time, hopefully. So then that brings us to number 18. Wow. All right, getting to the bottom of the list. Number 18, and these last three are my favorites. Top three, Dexter's Lab. Dexter's Lab, so cool, so great, so many funny moments, so many iconic moments. I don't know, as a kid, would have loved to have a secret lab, but just overall, amazing show, can't go wrong. Yeah, Dexter's Lab, ahead of its time, in my opinion. Then, these two are interchangeable for first place, honestly, but I'm going to say Batman, the animated series, the 90s series, is basically number one on everyone's list, and it's interchangeable for number one on mine. That show is perfect. Plain and simple. It is perfect, and everyone should watch it. All the movies that have come from that, especially The Phantasm, top notch, can't go wrong. And then again, interchangeable number one, and I think this counts. The Simpsons. I grew up watching The Simpsons. It technically started in '89, but you know, it's a 90s show through and through, and the best seasons were in the 90s. Those first 10 seasons are unbeatable television, and even the older jokes still land today. Even if you don't know the reference 100%, it's still good stuff, still perfect show in those seasons. It's amazing it's still going, and I still watch the newer stuff. We throw it on all the time because Simpsons is great. And yeah, that's my list. I know I missed a few. I watched a ton of shows growing up, but I mean, these were the main cartoons, to be fair, animated shows that really clicked with me, that I watched all the time, every chance I could, all the reruns, you know, and even more recently I've watched a lot of these. But yeah, let me know what you think, if I got some wrong, if I missed some obvious ones, you know, if I need to consider some that I overlooked. Obviously, this is just the top 20. Plenty more where that came from, but otherwise, thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good day.